The rotary evaporator is designed for the removal of solvents at reduced pressure and temperature. In this way, the risk of degrading the more sensitive compounds is lowered. The reduced pressure can be supplied in several ways: water pump, oil pump for very low pressures, or the house vacuum supply, which will be used in the demonstration, as it is adequate for the majority of solvents encountered in the laboratory. The taps and receiving flask joint should be greased to reduce leakage, but do not grease the vapour duct joints, or solvent will leach the grease into the flask and contaminate the product. The condenser shown is of the cold finger type containing dry ice. It's a matter of personal preference whether to use a solvent with the dry ice, but if you do use one, IPA is a better choice than acetone. The flask containing the solution to be evaporated should be no more than half full and contain no stirrer bars. This is attached using a clip to the end of the vapour duct, which commonly has a splash head to guard against loss of solution if the evaporation becomes a little too vigorous. The flask is then lowered into the water bath at room temperature and started spinning, slowly at first and then increasing to higher speeds, ensuring that the contents of the flask are not thrown about uncontrollably, as sometimes happens with non-concentric flasks. With the tap on the condenser open to the atmosphere, the vacuum supply can be turned on until air is heard being sucked through the apparatus. At this point, close the tap and the evaporation of the solvent should start as the apparatus becomes evacuated. If the rate of evaporation is slow, then both the vacuum and heating can be increased steadily, the vacuum to the maximum and the heating to the lower temperatures consistent with a controlled evaporation. At the end of the evaporation, open the tap to admit air to the apparatus and turn off the vacuum supply and stop the flask spinning. Raise the flask from the bath, unclip it, stopper it and remove it to your fume cupboard for further processing.